And, well,
yeah.
Then it takes you to another level.
It takes you to a whole other level. All right.
Well,
She did a good job.
My mind's kind of thinking about the Facebook Live. And
Actually, I'm going to tell you, if you're listening on the radio, my girl Shannon just worked it because I left her alone on the mic by herself so that I could quickly get on my Facebook page in order to record this and be able to have this on here. So I'm actually on my Facebook page, Lisa M. Boone. And so we're streaming it this way. I can share it to the 104.9 when we're done, or I might do that here in a second. But I wanted to ask you this question before we get into your tips for adding value to your house. I was thinking about this. Like right now, the economy is kind of at a slow standstill space, especially in retail. For me, it is. Like sales are really difficult. A lot of brick and mortars are struggling. And my one of my co-hosts, Adam from Finders Keepers, he's like, he learned his first or second year that election years affect the economy and retail transactions. And I was like, that's true. I've seen that myself. I just didn't put the pieces together, but I'm like, I've seen that. Does that affect sales with homes?
That's a good question. It could. It could. And I think what it is, it's the uncertainty, right? Okay, so like right now, we all know there's inflation and it's an issue, and you go to the grocery store and everything is so expensive. And so, yeah, absolutely, it can keep someone from buying a house because they're thinking, what's going to happen, if this person is president? What's going to happen if this person wins? And, but I think historically, I don't know that there's a huge change immediately right after they're elected. I think a lot of people are like, oh, when the election's over, I'm going to, everything's going to be this way or that way. It's either going to be horrible or great. But probably more after the first of the year, that would be something that would adjust.
Yeah. So,
but I'm not an expert in that area.
I just didn't know if you saw like a trend, or even if you thought about it. People are hesitant, and then afterwards, I feel like they relax. But I mean, to be honest, my opinion, my life doesn't change with every election. Like my life stays the same. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. But maybe it's because I don't worry about it. But I just wondered how other people felt like when they're selling a house, if they felt like, well, maybe we should wait. Right. I didn't know. So let's go ahead and talk about, you have some really great ideas on things that really add value, what adds value, what doesn't add value when you're trying to sell a house.
Right, Lisa. So a lot of people want to, do improvements to their home. And they'll ask me, okay, well, if I do this and I want to sell later, will I get my money out of it? I have a list of things that I feel like are good investments and where to put your money if you are thinking about selling in the next couple years. And let's face it, you need to be thinking about this all the time because you are eventually going to sell, right?
And see, I know some people say like, don't do your house as if you're going to sell it. Do it like you want it. But I feel like sometimes that could hurt you unless you know in the back of your mind, I'm going to have to repaint everything. Because if you start doing pinks and purples and orange and, bright colors like boho, like not everyone's going to buy that house, right?
Exactly. So, so the number one, you could probably guess this, but the number one upgrade that you will probably get your money out of as long as you stay on budget. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule where someone just does a lavish remodel and they're never going to get their money out of it. But the number one is a kitchen remodel. I mean, wouldn't you think that would be that's the focal point of the house?
I think that's the most important. Like I'm always, I love to cook and I love to bake. And I'm always going to look at the kitchen. For sure.
Right, and if you walk into a house and you see that the refrigerator is really old and it doesn't match the dishwasher, then you think, oh, I'm going to have to fix that. And this is where, I mean, I know men and women cook, but I know as a woman, that's the first thing I look at. what's my little workspace
Yes.
gonna
And I don't know what's going on, but the prices of refrigerators have gone up tremendously. We recently had our refrigerator break down and we had to replace it. And, you know, I had an LG stainless steel, the 3-door, like, you know, when we spent a good bit of money, and my husband was like, I will never do that again. That is just crazy. And then our refrigerator died. And then we were looking, and we spent more for sure for the replacement. But we did I got the same exact fridge because I loved it so much. I just got a different model. But, you know, that's an expense, and that's what people are going to be thinking about.
Right, so they walk into the kitchen and then they think, I don't have to do anything here. Check.
Yes.
You know, and also be thinking about the trends.
Yes.
I tell people, unless you think you're going to live there forever, you know, try to stay away from things that are just really, really trendy.
I always say classic is best. Like, just, you know, neutral, like clean. So this way you can change your colors. You can change accessories so easily. You can change a doorknob, you know, hardware knobs. Like, that's easy.
Right.
But keep it simple.
But you can't change
Countertop.
Kentucky blue kitchen cabinets. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong.
No.
I love Kentucky. Go Kentucky.
Yes. You know, I met the Wildcats, legendary Wildcats, a couple.
I saw that.
Yes. I'm not a big
Girl.
Wildcat like fan. I didn't know who they were, but they were so friendly.
Well, you look like you were a Wildcat
Yeah.
fan.
Well, I mean, but that blue is shocking, you know?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want that in a house.
Right. And so number 2 is probably something that you would think of is bathroom remodels.
Yes.
You will get your money out of. People like clean bathrooms.
Yes.
Walk in, things are bright, clean. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because, I mean, think about it. Bathroom is not exactly the most, you know, pleasant place in the house. So if you're going to be buying someone else's home, you want to see. And let me just add, Lisa, if you can't do a remodel, okay, let's say your bathroom is dated, but you need to put your house on the market. Cleanliness goes a long, long way.
And paint.
And paint, yes. I mean, just scrub everything, make it sparkle.
Scrub it.
Change the light bulbs.
Change the caulking, right?
Right.
Like the little things, like make sure that there's nothing black. No, you know,
Right.
nothing coming through.
That's a good idea.
You know,
in a shower.
Yeah, in the shower. But then also, you know, I mean, you know, I'm all about painting because that's what I do. But you can paint tile. You know, so, and you can have the tub resurfaced.
I've seen that before,
You know?
where they actually like take an old 1960s avocado green
Yes.
tub, and then you can. So,
Yes.
and even an updated shower curtain,
Yes.
and then people walk in and go, "Oh, this is nice."
Yes.
And you didn't
It
put a
makes
lot
a
because not
difference.
everybody can just gut their bathroom and do a $10,000.
No.
And I get that. So,
Yeah.
And the third thing, when you're upgrading your home and what is worth the money is paint, just like you said.
Because that's very inexpensive. I mean,
Right.
paint has gotten expensive, but in the long run, when you're looking at it, that is not as expensive as moving walls and doing all of that stuff. Yeah.
And remember when everyone used to wallpaper?
Yes.
And wallpaper is back.
It's back.
But it's going to be trendy. I just think it's going to
yeah.
come and go. But
Yeah.
remember how expensive wallpaper was.
Yeah.
So
And
you say, you know, painting is just
Yeah.
inexpensive when you think of how much we used to pay for like a roll of wallpaper.
Well, you know, wallpaper is really expensive still, but if you're going to do wallpaper, do the peel and stick.
Yeah.
You know, because then this way you can easily remove it.
Does it come off pretty good?
Yeah, it does. And if you have to touch up to repaint, it's still inexpensive.
Right.
You got your wallpaper, you got that pattern, you got the texture, you got the look. Take it off to paint to sell it.
I like it when they take like a half bath, you know, it's a small space, but then put that peel and stick wallpaper on there, and it just looks like it's out of a magazine.
It does. It really does. And I think if you did something that was neutral, you could probably keep it, and maybe people would appreciate it.
So a side note, when I was talking about the small space of a half bath and how you can make it just look, you know, pop it. I've heard something on TikTok the other day talking about micro luxury. Have you heard of this?
No, tell me. I need
It's
to know.
really cool. So if you have the time to like really focus on something like this, but like a pantry. You know, you open up a pantry and it's just blah, right?
Yeah.
But people are, you know, gutting that and putting decorative shelves
Yes.
and maybe some wallpaper behind
Yes.
it and just organizing it, everything perfectly. And it's amazing. Like you open it up and you think, wow, this pantry is really glam.
Let me tell you, I have a thing where I'm on TikTok all the time looking at those videos. I love them. I love to see before and after transformations anyway, but I really love the transformation of the pantries when they use the shelves.
Right.
I feel like that's just
Or laundry
so
rooms.
beautiful. The laundry rooms. Yeah. I think that, do you think that that's a good investment?
Well, that was kind of a side note.
Okay. Well,
we were talking about wallpaper.
Yeah.
I do that. I go down this rabbit trail.
No, that's good.
But I mean, it can't hurt.
It can't hurt.
Okay, so we're talking about 5 upgrades worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
So number 4, landscaping.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
And landscaping can be expensive, but you know, just like I was saying before with the bathroom, if you can't afford to get all new landscaping, then just clean up the landscaping that's there. You know, maybe trim it up. You know, obviously pull weeds, some fresh mulch, stuff like that, because the first impression is what matters.
Curb appeal, right?
Right, and that's the first thing they see.
Yeah, yeah. Because some people, I say this all the time, like, because I deal with a lot of people that maybe want furniture painted, whatever. They can't see. Most people cannot see the outcome. Or like with, you know, houses, they can't see it. They see what they see, and then they can't get past it.
Right.
Very few people can be like, oh, I see the potential. Okay, if we clean this up, if we do this would be really cute.
Right.
Most people don't have that gift.
Exactly. And then the last thing that is an upgrade that's worth the money that you will get your money back out of if you sell is flooring. And that's an expensive one, but it just is. If there's stained carpet, you know, a lot of times when I list a house, if we can't change out the flooring and I see that it could be a real eyesore, I like to say from the very beginning, you know, the seller is willing to give an allowance towards this. So anyway.
Yeah. I think that's important because when you think about it, first of all, I am not a fan of carpet because when you pull carpet up, there's all kinds of stuff underneath. I don't care how clean you are. I don't care how many times you vacuum and shampoo it. It's just the nature of the beast.
And then there's the pad underneath.
And then there's the pad, and the pad, I mean, like, I managed a carpet store, so I actually...
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was managing Mad City Carpet Barn. We had to close it right before I started working here at the station.
Okay.
So, the pad, once the pad has a stain, it will always have that stain. So, you can shampoo your carpet 1,000 times, that stain is going to come up. Then there are pads that have moisture wick on there, but eventually, you know, that's going to wear down. So a lot of people think, oh, I want the carpet. I want to feel the softness. It is hygienically more beneficial to have LVP if you can, or hardwood, because you can clean that. You can put area rugs to get that softness.
Right.
But it is hard. I mean, but a lot of people like the carpet because they feel like that's more homey.
And you were talking about the stains on the carpet pad, but what about the smell too?
Right.
You can't get that out.
You can't get it out, and you can shampoo it, like I said, as much as you want. But if you can afford, I find, and you tell me what you think, when you see one floor throughout the whole house, it makes it more aesthetically pleasing. Yes. It makes it look larger, especially if you're talking about small spaces, don't you think?
Absolutely. Continuity. You know, just keep it going, because if not, then you're breaking up the spaces. So these are just things to remember, and you could say, well, Shannon, I'm not selling. I just got this house. But I even tell my buyers at closing, I say, okay, now let me tell you something. One day you're going to sell your home, obviously, and keep your receipts from any of the improvements you do. Keep things maintenanced, you know, and you will get your money back out of it.
That's so interesting. I love that you do that. I mean, you have to be realistic.
Right.
Like, you know, it might not, you might say it's going to be your forever home, but it might not. You might have to get transferred. You might, you know, all of a sudden you've adopted 3 kids, or you want to start a goat cheese farm. You know, I mean, stuff happens, right? Like
unfortunately, hate to talk about this kind of stuff, but people get divorces and they didn't expect it, and then they're like, oh my goodness. And
or you have to move your parents in.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that happens. And so now, like, my house isn't, it's not suitable for that. So when you have to move. So, like, there's all kinds of life stuff that happens. Your kids come back and they have kids. You know what I mean? So you have to think about that. So I'm glad that you prep your buyers for that. It's smart.
I try to.
They probably don't want it. I mean, it feels like it's a strenuous thing, and it's like so hard to find the perfect house and buy it. They probably don't want to go through that again. It's like when you have a baby, you're like, I'm not having another baby. After you just went through all that, and then you're like, oh, I want another baby,
Exactly. You don't see it until it's there.
Yeah.
But, so Lisa, we were talking about upgrades that are worth the money. Let me quiz you and see. Can you think of an upgrade that would not be worth the money? Like, you wouldn't get, like, maybe it's something you really wanted, but you're thinking, I will never get my money back out of this.
Okay.
Do you have I just wonder if everybody's on the same page, because I kind of made a list of things I thought, but
I don't know. I know I would think a laundry room would add a little bit of value, not as much. I don't know, maybe like creating niches and that, like built-ins. I don't know that would add value. That's be pretty, but sometimes people will say, oh, I'd rather have the space. What do you think?
Right. I don't know that you get your money out of that, but at least that's not a big investment.
It's not a big.
Okay, so number one is a home theater.
Oh, that's so funny. I actually had one in South Carolina, and but I could see. I know that we spent a lot of money. Super cool. Had the projector. Had the thing. We had expensive sound system. Definitely.
Especially when you get like the movie, an actual legit movie recliner,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah, but not everyone wants that.
But are you really going to get your money back out of it?
That's true. That's good.
And something else that I see all the time here is people who change their garage into like a bedroom, a garage conversion.
Yeah. Without adding another.
Right. So basically what they've done.
No garage.
Yeah. So, like say they have 3 bedrooms, but they want 4 bedrooms. And so they change their garage into a bedroom. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. If that's what you really need, fine. But the value of a garage is worth more.
Wow.
Yes. Most of the time it is.
Yeah, I can see that. But at least think about, if you're going to do it, do you recommend having a carport or maybe like another shed?
Yes, that would be nice. Some place to put your
something.
lawnmower and all that.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. Let me just take a quick second to thank all of my sponsors for the week. Don't forget, guys, we want you to follow them, follow their pages, support them. This is all about shopping local. And when you shop local, you help the economy in your town. You're elevating everyone, and you're supporting, your brothers and sisters, your family, your neighbors. It's so important. So yesterday, my favorite vet, Dr. Jared Tapp, he was here. We were talking about pet health, which is so awesome. Of course, Shannon Harmon, she's a realtor locally in town. Like I said, you can find her. Shannon Harmon Realtor is her page. Bluegrass Pharmacy will be our Wellness Wednesday sponsor tomorrow. Nick Russell, his family owns that and has owned it for decades. It's a staple in our community. Brothers Barbecue will be here on Thursday, and then Deer Creek Hemp will be here on Friday. And listen, there's a lot of people that don't understand CBD. I don't understand CBD myself. I know a little bit. And so this is a great way to learn about the medical benefits of CBD and hemp and what it can do for you. So Adam, the son of it's a family-owned business. He runs the store and he runs the products and he knows it like the back of his hand. So he's going to be here. He might be bringing some stuff. I'm not sure. I told him to. But those are our sponsors. Well, no, I don't want to know. But just to show, because you know what? The first episode he came on and he was talking and it really went over my head. I don't, because I don't know that product that well. And so he was saying stuff like disposable. I was like, what do you mean disposable?
Really?
Yes. Did you know what that is?
No.
It's a vape. If he would have just said vape, I would have been like, okay, I understand what that is. But he was using a lot of terms that, and I said, you know, a lot of our listeners probably are in the same page like me, where,
Right.
you know, I don't know that
I
world.
would need to be educated.
Yeah, yeah. So, and they have a lot. They have edibles, which I've heard that word before, and I understand that. But they have lotions, like if you're swollen, if you have arthritis. They have stuff for pets. So, I mean, they have a wide variety. They have drinks and they have desserts, and some of that, like, I don't understand that well. But they have a lot of different types, and so it depends on what you need. But it has helped people with autism, people with chronic pain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something definitely to tune in on Friday to get some education on it and see if they can help you. So what do you think? What do you think is a reasonable time if you want to get your house on the market? I know it varies because it varies on the house, it varies on, you know, all of that. But average, how quickly are houses turning around here in Madisonville?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
right now they've slowed down just a little.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said before, it could be this anticipation of the election and what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or it just could be that instead of it being about the election, it's about people being a little bit hesitant to do anything
Mm-hmm.
drastic,
Right.
like move or try
Yeah.
to refinance. But historically, you know, the springtime is when people want to just, you know, let's put our house out on the market when we just got new flowers, and I get that, but we still have people who need to buy right now.
Right.
I mean, I do
Right.
have buyers that I haven't found a house for yet.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I can think of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because we are a small community, there's only so many houses. You know?
Exactly.
And I know we're building some in some places, which is great, but we're limited. Limited inventory. But I'm going to tell you, my very first house in South Carolina we bought and we closed was Thanksgiving weekend. And I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. And like I said at the top of the show, I love to cook. That was the worst thing I'd ever done. Because I couldn't cook. We were in boxes. And so we had to go out and find, and back then there weren't as many places open. And I think it was O'Charlie's or something that we finally found one restaurant to be able to eat dinner.
right.
Because, you know, so I wonder if people think about that, or if they don't, like the holidays. I know a lot of people like to decorate, and maybe that looks pretty and appealing and warm
Right.
for
They
people.
don't want to move during the
Yeah.
holidays. And a lot of times they don't, but then some people, it's a need.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're
Yeah.
moving here from somewhere else, or
Yeah.
maybe they've got a baby on the way and they don't have enough space.
And it's quick. They need
Right.
quick.
And I always say, you know, when I'm talking about clients, and I'll say, you know, a good lead is someone that has a need.
Okay.
Okay, someone who has a need. I need to move. I
Yeah.
need to buy.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that are just, you know, I've thought about if I found this,
Yeah.
I would move.
Yeah.
You know, and so
That's
doesn't
true.
mean that they're not going to make that move, but a lot of times in the real estate world, we say, do you have any leads? And like I said again, a real lead is someone who has that need.
Yes.
They're ready now.
Yeah.
And where is it? Where's the house that I need
Yeah.
to get now? I gotta start work in a month, you know. And so
Yeah.
that's always exciting because we can make it happen.
Yeah. So listen, if you are listening to us right now on 104.9 or on Facebook, and you're in the area and you are contemplating moving, or if you just want, you know, a consultation, like what do I need to do to get this house ready, please contact Shannon, because she is such a well put together person. Like, I know she's got style. She's got all kinds of knowledge. She's got wisdom in this area. She's been working this. She knows what works. contact her and let her come to your house and let her
Yeah.
do an assessment and see what
see.
you need to do. It might not be as bad as you think.
Right, I can tell you what I think that it's worth right now on today's market. And my number is 270-836-7204. I work at Haven Realty. We could, arrange an appointment to meet at your house. Or if you're looking to buy, I like to sit down with my buyers and have a buyer's consultation and go over with them the whole process. Because if you're new at buying and maybe it's your first home, it's good to know ahead of time what to expect.
Because that is a scary step for some people. So yeah, being able to know all the ins and outs.
Lending and
It's not as hard as you would think it is. It really isn't. So that's great. So if you're looking to buy or if you're looking to sell, please go ahead and contact Shannon Harmon because she is going to hook you up. Guys, don't forget to shop, eat, and experience local. I want to thank my sponsors very quickly again, Jared Tapp from Pennyroyal Animal Clinic, Shannon Harmon Realtor, Bluegrass Pharmacy, Brothers Barbecue, Deer Creek Hemp. Y'all, I hope you have an incredibly blessed day. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to the Shop Local show. And again, shop, eat, and experience local.